How's it going, traders? Gonna do a quick recap on my Tesla trade today. As you can see from my trade log, it took about 5 trades today, 2 on Tesla. The other ones kind of were break even, washed, canceled each other out. But before I do the Tesla trade, I want to talk about bigger picture stuff, right? So bigger picture stuff, guys. This is where it matters. This is how you're able to find stocks that have the capacity to run, right? It all starts with the daily and the weekly. So if we look at the weekly, obviously Tesla has cleared this major resistance at the 380 level. We broke through that, and not only did we break through that, we did it from the bottoms. Started from the bottom, now we're here, right? Look at the daily. We came up from 170. We had that huge gap up day last fall. Still remember that, and we've basically been power moving our way through, hit the 420 level. That was the big meme, and we pulled in, and now we took out the 435, and it's just been off to the races, right? 6th, 7th, and 8th, which is basically would it be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's the bigger time frames. We look to the left. Nothing here to stop us, right? Every day that you're able to break pre-market high or break any type of pattern you're forming, and we'll see examples of that, you're off. There's nothing to stop you guys. There's a lot of hype in this. Look at the accumulation bars, as Jeff has been teaching me, above average volume. This means institutions are very interested on these days, right? And we're seeing the volume almost going parabolic in the past, basically this whole week here, right? So big picture, big picture. Now I want you guys to look at what it looks like on a 15-minute chart, right? 6, 7, and 8, right? We've been basically basing flagging our way up every day. We just gap, base, flag, run, back. It's just repeating the same thing over and over. And I want you guys to see this on a smaller time frame. What does this actually look like? One thing I noticed about Tesla, I used to trade it before, but then it kind of just went dead. But lately I've been watching what it's doing, right? So on the 6th, let's just zoom in on the 6th. Oh, let's just switch charts. Sorry. On the 6th, Monday, right? Monday. Okay, so what do I notice about Tesla? Tesla likes to triangle. If you're not familiar with a triangle, what is a triangle? Usually when you get 2 moves in opposite directions, like very violent moves like that, it means that you're probably forming the extremities, and now you're going to base inside of here, right? This is what I've read in a couple technical analysis books. Adam Grimes, one of them, and obviously you guys know I'm a fan of cappers, right? But once you form a violent type of maneuver like this, usually you're probably going to base inside, and Tesla loves to do this because it's so volatile, right? So this is on the 6th. This is Monday. What does it do? Okay, at the open, boom, power move, come in and just bounces around inside of here. What do you get? You get a breakout above high of the day. You get the volume picking up on the 2-minute chart. You get a breach, high day retest, and that was it, right? It ran off into the close. That's a clean move, right? So then we come into the 7th, which was yesterday. What do we see again? Let's just fast forward, right? What do we see on the 7th? This chart, and here on the 7th, which was yesterday. Okay, so opens up, bottoms out. I bought this bottom here, got screenshot right here. I bought it 90 cents or $1 from the lows. I was like, I think I'm gonna hold Tesla all day. Going to put a range order for 2 to 1 because Rishi helped me with that hotkey. I just pressed the button and I was pulling up the montage to go put a real stop order below here, and just leaving the target open, which is what I've been doing, right? And just monitoring the price action, letting me know when I should get out. Excuse me. So basically, I got filled in 20 seconds. It's ridiculous, but it ended up running off for the whole day. But that's the type of move I'm talking about, right? The range has been formed. What are you going to do? Now you're going to coil inside of here. Coil, 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 base, 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 breakout, volume, right? Off you go. Break above high of the day, retest pattern, and trend. That was yesterday, right? So that's 2 in a row. Now let's look at what happened today. Today, pre-market was a little bit iffy, right? Pre-market today was very, it sold off. It sold off before the bell even rang. Right, so we started coming in, so we had some extremities from here, and then the bottom was put in. Now we have the edges of our triangle, right? And what do we do during the intraday? We just bounced around. Breakout, right here, volume, off you go. There's obviously, what am I going to say? There was a high of the day retest as well, right? 2 of them. One there's a high of the day retest, and then a high of pre-market retest. Right, that pattern will show you that a level's been breached. There's a fight going on. Volume usually increases here because people are covering, people are buying, all sorts of things happening. Everyone's kind of jockeying for position, and that was it, right? Nothing. There was nothing to the left, and this is where we made the parabolic run up until the areas that I started trading it, right? Before I talk about what my trade, let's talk about triangles. So what does a triangle represent? Let's try to find the cleanest looking one here. I think This one's probably the cleanest one. A triangle, right? A triangle is basically, a three-sided figure, right? And it can come in three forms. It can come in a symmetrical, it can come in a ascending or a descending. And the ascending is usually a continuation pattern to the upside. You're coming from an up move, right? And then the descending is usually coming from a down move, and it's probably going to continue to the downside. But what does a triangle actually represent? A triangle represents supply and demand, right? At this price, there's too much supply. People want to sell in this area, right? So sell, and then at some point, people's like, no, this is a good price. They buy here, right? The buyers step up and take back control, and then you get here, and right before you get to the previous high, people say, okay, you know what? I'm going to sell for a little bit less because it might not come here or whatever, right? There's at this price point, people are looking to sell, and it comes back down, and then at this before it even gets back to the prior level, people are like, you know what? This is probably a good price to buy, right? It's the areas of supply and demand are tightening and tightening and tightening and tightening till you get to a point that all the excess supply and all the excess demand is basically just, it comes to an equilibrium, and then one side takes over, and then that's the move you go, right? Demand outweighs supply. All the sellers have gotten out. They've gotten out for lower and lower prices. The buyers had stepped up at higher and higher prices, and that's basically what happens inside of a triangle, right? So if you have an understanding of price action and knowing these things, right? And the names for these patterns aren't that important, right? If you're just trying to take this off of, okay, it broke the prior pivot, I'll take it, right? It's breaking this trend line, I'll take it. It's bouncing off the support off here, I'll take it. Everyone's looking at different things, but the more I'm looking at price action, the more I'm reading, the more I'm studying. I think we're all looking at the same thing, we just call it something else. And that's the beautiful thing about the market, because when everyone is in agreement about something, like everyone's agreeing that Tesla's going to go higher, just what price do you want to get triggered at, right? Some people buying it off the VWAP. That looks like a good price. That's a nice VWAP bounce. Well, I'll take it off here. That's a trend line bounce. I'll take it as soon as it breaks this pivot, this flat top pivot. I'm going to wait till it takes out these sellers. I'm going to wait till it takes out the high of the day. I'm actually going to wait for extra confirmation. I'll wait for it to take out and come back and do a retest. Then I'll take it, right? Or I'm waiting until all that stuff's cleared, nothing to the left, and I'm going to take it on the first buy setup, right? Or the first pullback after the breakout. Everyone's on the same page. We're all just trying to find the best price, and that's what drives this thing up. It's demand, guys. Demand outweighs supply. There's a limited number of shares. Everyone's buying, and that's what causes the price to move up, right? So enough rambling about that. And those are the shapes. Now I want you guys to see what I did on Tesla today. So Tesla, at the time, looked like, I missed this, right? I missed this break out of the wedge. Look at again, the volume comes in when you break out, right? That doesn't look like much because we're obviously looking into the future as well, where all the parabolic volume came in. But on the day, that's interesting volume, right? For 11 o'clock. Everyone's supposed to be at lunch. People tell you that don't trade the midday, right? People tell you that all the moves are over. Tell me why this type of move can generate off this much volume, right? Because everyone is just waiting for the pattern to trigger. And you probably have noticed I'm trading more and more the midday. Am I sitting here watching the screens all the time? No, I draw these lines. I wait for them to populate themselves. I'll come back every here and then, adjust them, and sometimes I'll miss the move, right? Because I'm not here. I'll be getting the trades. I'll walk away, but the pattern tells you when it's going to happen, not the time. The chart doesn't know what time it is, right? The chart doesn't know what the hell time it is. Am I saying that obviously the probabilities of moves happening later in the day are less? There's less continuation and all that stuff, right? But moves still happen. Certain types of moves, right? Obviously not going to take no breakout or opening range breakout at 12 o'clock. Doesn't exist. You're not going to take no bounces off all these things, right? But things like triangle, bigger picture things where there's ebbs and flows in the market, these things, they don't care what time it is. I've seen these things happen at 12:30 when no one's supposed to be at the stations, right? On AMD last week, I've seen these things happen at 2 p.m., right? They just happen whenever the volume triggers or the pattern triggers, and the volume will tell you that people see this, right? So we break out of there, we break out of there, we break out of there, and then we just start, right? The volume starts really coming in, and I thought we had gone climactic here. So I tried to short it. That was a big mistake. I tried to short it on the first, on the 1 minute chart. This was the first 1 minute low off some looking like climactic volume at the time. And I just got stopped out instantly. So fast. Look at the 1 minute chart. I stopped out so fast and it hit me, right? Basically came in, and then that's not what you want. You do not want to see that, right? I probably could have stopped out earlier here, but I was like, I'm just going to let it hold. Could have saved myself a quarter of an hour, but whatever. And it just kept going. This is a 1 minute chart, guys. It just kept buy setup after buy setup after buy setup after buy setup. And then we reached this point of 493.50, and this is where it kind of started weakening. It's just gone up too much too fast, right? So let's zoom forward. Sorry, I had to get the right zoom level here, right? So we come into this this point, right? This huge blow off wick, and we come in, we pull in, right? We pull in, and I started looking for a place to buy. Some people thinking, oh, it's going to come back to the view app. It's so extended, right? Strong stocks don't care, guys. This is called a high and tight flag. This is the most bullish as it gets, right? If you can stay and base in the upper 30-40% of the move, right? This is a 60-minute candle. This is a 60-minute bar. You're staying inside the top 30%. That's bullish. So basically, I look for a 40% retracement from here to here, from the move, right? And then that coincided with roughly this area, 40%. Right? Strong stocks will stay above 35-40%. Average stocks 50%. 60% is as deep as you want to see it come in, right? Why is that? Well, because at 60%, say this is 4, 5, and 6. At 60%, no one's buying it. It's pulling in, pulling in. That means the buyers aren't interested, right? They should have showed up at 40 and 50. If they're not showing up at 60, they're not showing up at all. And that's usually, you might get a fake out and then you're going off, right? So the retracements, one thing I looked at. I looked at this. I drew this off here before as a kind of almost a prior pivot. I wouldn't really call it minor support because it was a kind of climactic move. But if we had formed a pivot off here, minor support is basically, let's just draw minor support. Minor support is your prior pivot high, right? Prior pivot high. That's what you want to see in uptrends. You want to see it respect the prior pivot highs. If it comes in a little bit jiggling area, whatever, you give it the benefit of the doubt, right? So I was kind of just drew this line here. Now that I look back, I wouldn't call it minor support, but it is kind of a pivot. It's an area of interest. I got stopped out here, and it formed a double wick here, right? So I put that line down. I measured my 40%. I saw the moving averages was still coming in on the 5. We're still both moving averages kind of a little bulging out, but whatever. It wasn't, you know, climactic or anything. And on the 2-minute chart, the 20 was still a nice healthy 45-degree angle, right? That's a 45-degree angle from corner to corner. Saw that. On the 2-minute chart, I saw this wick. I didn't like that because we always know the first buy setup coming off a climactic will fail. The second buy setup also failed, right? Even after this huge bottoming tail, it still failed. So the buyers that stepped up, they tried. I mean, they gave really good attempt here, right? But they came up, and then it just, maybe the guys who got trapped here, maybe they sold on them. Who knows? I came right back in. I was like, okay, this pullback is getting a little more than complex. It's getting, you know, we're basically in a stage 4 downtrend on the smaller time frame, right? On the smaller time frame, we were in a downtrend, right? Even though in the higher time frames we're in an uptrend. So we basically wait for this downtrend to end. Right? This downtrend to end. I call this a double complex pullback. It's looking more and more like a triple complex pullback. But basically, when it came in and bottomed here and then bottomed here, I don't know what it was, guys. I can't really explain these things anymore. But at the retracement level and at the moving average, everything, maybe it's intuition or whatever. I took this because I said, you know what? If this doesn't hold, the guys who came up to create this action here off a triple complex pullback on this super bullish stock. Right, my target in my head was 500. So we're going to 500 today. I was messaging all my buddies. Say we're going to 500 today, guys. This is going to be the day that it happens, right? After this run up, you may think it's extended, but we'll see what happens, right? If this pullback can survive and we can stay high and tight, I think we're going to make a move for it, right? So I go long here, and my stop is here. It's roughly, I don't even know, $1. It's $1, which is very tight, right? You would think, oh, that's so tight for a $500 stock, but my stops are based off the patterns. They're not arbitrary. If the pattern does this and I'm going long here, my stop is here. I don't care if that's 5 cents or 50 cents or $5, right? The pattern dictates the stop always, right? And if this bottom doesn't hold off this level and all these different pattern boosters, and then we're toast. And then there's no reason I'm going to hang on any longer, right? So basically, notice I've been saying that a lot. Basically, right? 2 extreme moves in opposite directions mean you're probably going to form a flag or a triangle. So comes up, right? Slightly lower than before. Comes back in, slightly higher than before. Comes back up, slightly lower than before. Comes back in, slightly higher than before. You guys get the point here? Look at this, right? I drew a picture of this in the post. This is an ascending triangle coming off a huge run up. This is bullish. This is bullish, right? The sellers are stepping up for less and less and less, selling for less and less and less. The buyers are buying for more and more and more and more and more. The volume will tell you when the breakout's happening, and people see the same move. We saw the same thing. What happened? Came up, broke through the top of the triangle on volume, came back in, tested the high of the day, retest, you know this drill. Look at the flick of the wick, and we ran up right there, ran up to 498.49. I had my order at 498.50. I got skipped by a penny. Then I started watching it. I was like, well, that sucks. I missed this by a penny. Because I was in my head, I'm like, we're going to 500. There's going to be people trying to get out at 499.50, 499. So I'm going to beat them all. I'm going to go 498.50, right? 498.50. I'll beat them all by $1.50. Well, everyone's thinking the same thing, right? Everyone's probably just trying to front run each other. Miss it here. We pull in, right? We start having, there's just a struggle, and then finally, I missed it again here. Finally just filled for 498.25. I'm messing around with this no more. I'm so glad I did, because look what happened. That was it. That was the last high. 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, there was one more high after that, and then it keeled over and died. And the buyer stepped up. Still holding it up, right? This was an interesting bar. I want you guys to see this bar here. When we broke out from here, and we came back in deep and hard, that was a huge red candle. I remember watching that, and I was like, oh man, what a huge red candle. Then I saw the people step up. They respected this trend line. That's not good. Respected this trend line. And the bar almost engulfed back. Blue. It almost came back. Green, sorry. In one whole bar. I was like, wow, that's powerful. But for you to make a sell-off of that size, this is a $6 sell-off, and come right back up and start basing again, I was like, that's extremely bullish. That's extremely bullish. And it held the trend line all the way through, right? Until it lost it. That's when everything kind of just keeled over. So, you know, if it hadn't been so extended, this probably could have been a move too, right? It's just basing inside for the next leg. But you can't ask for too much. Look at the move it's already made, right? On the day. Look at the move it's made on the past week here, right? The whole week. It's even more than that, I think. Here, yeah, look. Right, look how far we've come up. So you can't ask for too much once you get to 500. It's basically a $60 move in 3 days. It's huge in terms of percentage. But yeah, hopefully that's educational, not just what I did and what I was thinking, whatever, right? Things to look out for: understanding triangles, understanding price action, understanding support areas, areas of confluence. Not sure what else. High day retest, importance of levels, looking to the left, reaching. The thing about looking to the left, right? Someone asked me this, say, Robbie, if I look to the left, there's always going to be something there unless I'm at all-time highs. That's somewhat true, right? But sometimes on the daily chart, right, you form a pivot back here, and the next pivot's here, and then there's a big gap, whatever, and then the next pivot's here, and then you gap to here. Well, there's room to here, and basically this is going to be your resistance. If you can break out of there, then your next target's here, right? You're looking for pivots and consolidation areas to the left. Once you clear those, then you're fine, right? Once you clear those, then you're fine. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be empty space to the left. I hope that clears it up. There's got to be battle points at the left. Battle points are always pivots and consolidation, overlapping bar zones where fights took place, right? So that's a long recap. Oh man, approaching 20 minutes. Let me know if you have questions down below in the comments, or reach out to me on Twitter at TraderRobertH. Thank you.